For more on this, we're joined by Harel. He's a Palestine expert at the Moshe Dayan Center for Middle Eastern Studies. He's joining us from Tel Aviv. Mr. Chorev, thank you for taking the time. Can you talk to us about what you were feeling and thinking yesterday, given this renewed violence, but at this unprecedented scale?
Well, I must say that the fact that I'm an expert on Palestinian affairs did not decrease my full surprise and shock from what happened yesterday. This attack was fully anticipated in recent months. Many people warned against it. Still, we didn't think it would be that strong, that vicious, that cruel. I must say that nobody could anticipate it. First and foremost, the security establishment here in Israel.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. As you say, you've been studying and assessing the Palestinian-Israeli situation for years now. You're surprised. It seems that the state of Israel was also caught off guard. What factors could be at play here that they just did not see this coming?
Well, I think the most important thing is that most of us anticipated that such an attack, which, as I said, everybody thought it will come. It was all over the place, all over the press, will come from Lebanon, not from Hamas. No one, Abby, anticipated that such a fierce, and I must say, sadly, impressive attack, impressive in terms of orchestrating, not impressive, of course, in any other sense, because the cruelty is just striking. But nobody anticipated it will come from Hamas. Everybody thought it will start from Lebanon. And Hamas was supposed to be a sidekicker, not more than that. Israelis thought that after last week, when Israel resolved the issues with the Qatari money that was supposed to get into Gaza, and the increase of permits for Palestinian workers in Israel, Hamas will be, okay with that. Unfortunately, we got a strategic, orchestrated attack that we're still trying to understand the full meaning of it. And it's, I must say, not less than a catastrophe.
You say all eyes were on Hezbollah, not Hamas. Given what's been happening in the last 24 hours, why do you think Hamas chose this moment to, coordinate and carry out such an attack on this scale?
I mean, people are always looking for something which is right under under their microscope. But this is not the case in the case of Hamas, particularly, and the so-called resistant axis generally. Resistant axis includes both Iran and Islamic Jihad and Hezbollah, of course, and Hamas is part of it. Their ideology is messianic, I would say. They see the fight against Israel as a core issue of their ideology. It's a long-standing issue. Israel and the Jews, we must say, and the Jews, because the ideology is anti-Semitic. And yesterday we saw that. I must tell you, Abby, that my Palestinian colleague from the Palestinian Authority are shocked as well. Shocked not only because of they saw how the force of Hamas again, but shocked because of the way that Hamas was willing to really fulfill its clear anti-Semitic ideology, which was, of course, brought to us already in 1988 in the Hamas Convention. They didn't believe that Hamas will go as far as killing children, innocent people, massacring hundreds in one party in the south, massacring whole families in their safe rooms. They just couldn't understand where it came from. Naturally, the Israelis even less.
We just have a few seconds left, and I know it's difficult to predict what could potentially happen next, but how do you see this unfolding?
I must say it's not that unpredictable because today you hear in Israel just one voice. It's not a retaliation. It's not anything like that. It is a full-scale war. It's not another round. You hear it from all over the political arena that in this time we must destroy Hamas infrastructure, not only for Hamas per se, and not only for what they did, but also by conveying the message to the rest of this resistant axis that they shouldn't mess with us. And their ideology will not bring them to anywhere which they are hoping to get to, unfortunately.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your insights. Harel Chorev, a Palestine expert at the Moshe Dayan Center. Thank you. A look at Ashkelon in southern Israel this hour, where Israeli troops battle Hamas gunmen through the night. You're watching CBC News Network. More to come after the break.